Easy people. Let's see if we can go in on some of these topics that I've been talking about before, yeah, and just rehash some things just so we can really get this stuff inside here and make sure we start to utilize it for ourselves and for our families and for the benefit of everyone around us. So I'm going to start going over some things I've already gone over again, just so that we can make sure that the messages directly hit home. Basically, what I've been talking about, for those of you that this is your first time getting this message, I've been talking about how our energy has been getting drained and how we have been not getting full access to the amount of life force energy. Some people call it chi, some people call it prana, whatever you want to call it. Let's just say energy. And the energy that animates you as a person, that makes you able to even consume this video, yeah. That's the energy that I'm talking about, because this is the energy that has your immune system and your organs running on auto. This is very important to understand, yeah, because there are certain practices that, as consumers, as people who engage with corporations and all the food, the things that are boxed up and put there for our convenience, or so we think for our convenience, as we've been doing these things, yeah, because it's so convenient and money effective and cost effective for the people that produce these things. Now, there have been like items in there, such as things that I've talked about before, fluoride and a bunch of heavy metals. And also one of the biggest offenders that I'm gonna be redundant in making sure people understand is inorganic salt. Now, even if you ask me, organic salt is not something we want to be consuming. We don't want to be consuming any of that stuff because it dehydrates the brain and the body. Now, what do they tell you? They tell you your whole body is like 70% water, or it should be 70% water. Now, if you think of that, yeah, right, start to understand that salt is definitely a dehydrator. It contains no energy. It is dead. That's why they call it the Dead Sea salts, right? And it is of the earth. Now, I want people to understand here now when I say this, yeah, I'm not a Bible person. I'm not into religion and all this stuff. But it says in the Bible, man is the salt of the earth, right? I believe these things are put there to confuse the mind and basically for people who don't know and people who can't observe and see what's going on, then this will tell you it basically, it's like they tell you what's going on in front of your face and it's like, here's the truth. But because you ain't got eyes to see, then you're not going to see it. Now they're telling you man is the salt of the earth, right? But the earth is a dead thing. That is the salt is dead. The earth is dead. It has dead minerals. The plants consume dead minerals and produce living minerals. You got to understand the difference between inorganic calcium and organic calcium, inorganic iron and organic iron. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because these are two different things, right? So what's occurred is that we've been encouraged to consume inorganics. Even in the mineral waters, you've got inorganic, these are dead minerals, right? The salt is dead. Yeah, the saying man is the salt of the earth, right? But God is not the salt of the earth. And I'm saying that as a being that is in control of his own reality, yeah, we can basically interact with different ways of experiencing the world that we're co-creating, basically through the things we consume. So if you consume dead things that are of the earth, yeah, then you're not going to experience like a living system, or you're only going to experience a piece of a living system. But on the whole, the acceleration of your decay process, yeah, is already been put into play by all the inorganics, by all the GMOs, and by the salt that dehydrates your body. Because as the saying goes, water is life. You feel what I'm trying to say? Water is life. Yeah. So, like, we got to also understand that salt, inorganic salt, being such a high frequency thing, as we say, it turns off neuroreceptors. So that, like, for you now, if you're addicted to salt on vegetables and things like this, yeah, like it turns something that, like a potato that's a low frequency, like, this is not good or bad. It just means it has a lower vibrational rate of, like, when it touches your tongue, like it's perceived in a more dense form. So when you put the high frequency salt on there, what that does is that accelerates the brain, and the brain is like so excited by that you probably don't want to eat a potato without having salt on it again. This is important because this is what got everybody addicted to the meats and all these kind of things, yeah. And basically constantly eating. It's the salt. This is what got people overeating. So the salt and the inorganics minerals, this is what they do. They leave crystalline deposits on the joints, in the organs, because the body does not know how to unify those forms into itself. So what it does is it leaves deposits all over the bones and the joints and all over the organs. And this is how blockages are formed. You know what I'm trying to say? So what this will do now is, if there's blockages all in your organs, and there's blockages all in the vessels that carry the lifeblood, which is your water, through these different pathways in the body, then energy is not able to flow, which means your body's ability to heal itself, stay rejuvenated and young, has been severely hindered now. Can you see how this will start to work if we've been confused about inorganics and organics, and even still, because a lot of the fruits and vegetables that we've been eating are not even organic, or they've been sprayed full of pesticides. And like, even when you eat an apple, you got to wash it off loads of times with like hot water and apple cider vinegar, because of the corporatization of it, the corporate process that it's been through is full of wax. So there's a lot that goes into all this stuff, yeah. So because it's full of wax now, you can even do this experiment yourself, and then what you can see is that all this stuff is going to block your body up. Now energy can't move through your body. See, we know that in nature, just like even in your body, you've got a right brain and a left brain. You've got like right and left lungs. You've got two nostrils, you've got two eyes, you've got two ears, you've got right and left sides. This is to do with polarities, right and left side, on and off, up and down, hot and cold. You have all these energies within you, and thus this can be felt. Once you start to remove the salts and the metals from your body, this can be felt on a vivid level. So I want you to be clear in understanding that what I'm talking about is not like something that is, it's not woo-woo, it's not like all these light workers talking all their madness and that. This is vivid and can be felt once you do the things that I'm telling you. Like, well, I'm not telling you to do, I'm just suggesting, as somebody who cares, and that this is what you can do to assist yourself in this reality. And then we can start to look at how your energy's been getting pulled from you, and you've been confused about what it is that actually gives you life. Now, I'm going to go into some things here now that I've already gone over, and that, but we're going to talk about how the mind is controlled. And you've got to remember now that this is going to be like, you got to understand, right, to be confused about things and to be encouraged to do things that like just wouldn't make any sense whatsoever, right? They would have to use hypnotism, a form of sleep. This is what would have to take place, right? And this is why there are clues in the language to people who are awakened, to people who can see, right? There are clues in the language to people who really want to actually like have energy, like I'm talking on a vivid level, and to people who want to put their body back in order, to put their body back together so that it can work the way it was supposed to work. Like when you was a baby and you ate a piece of fruit, you was so like, watch a baby eat a piece of fruit. Watch a baby eat a piece of broccoli that's been mashed up. That baby doesn't need any salt. Go and look at animals. They ain't going and looking for no salt to put on their food. They're just eating that. They're excited by that. A baby's the same thing. And look how fast a baby can learn and all this kind of stuff, because it's so enlivened by life. It's like it's living in a different reality to us. Like it's living here with us, but its mind is consuming this reality in a completely different way to the way we do. And that's why the baby can learn quicker, because it can feel the things that it's more connected to its senses, basically, and more connected to the organs, because, as I said, over a space of time, the organs have been switched up. The decay process has been accelerated. Now let's get into the whole, like, as I've said, the whole hypnosis, because they would have to put a level of hypnosis around you, basically cloaking reality from you in order to confuse us and get us to do things that wouldn't make any sense at all, like putting these metals in our bodies and eating the salt. That's basically a poison. Remember in the 80s and that, and even all the way through the 90s and everything, they told you about an illicit white substance. It would have been cocaine, it might have been anthrax, even sugar. Sugar's disgusting and horrible, and these things, there was always on the news, this white powder. But the one thing that they missed out, see, they like to tell you to your face, is the white powder, the white salt that is on every dinner table in the world. Do you know what I'm saying? It's funny how the black and the white represents the duality as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So we'll look at the mind control. Let's see how the mind could be controlled. Yeah, you've got to remember the mind works in images. The subconscious mind works in symbols. And as this channel progresses, I'm going to go over and over and over all the things that I'm just starting to come into an understanding of now myself, about how these symbols and all this stuff is used to fuck around with us, you know what I mean, and play games with our mind and how it works. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to have a little look at, first of all, what we're going to look at here now is the moon, because the moon, what we've got here now, yeah, is just get with it. We've got the moon here now, Saturn's artificial moon. What we should understand about this is that's the Death Star there, right? Now, these are all tied into archetypes and symbols and basically stories that have lasted throughout the ages that are in your DNA, just like the Jesus story and just like all the stories of all these different religions like Allah and all of this why the picture of the moon is in the Muslims, it's in the Muslim symbol, the moon crescent. You understand what I'm trying to say? So this moon here is important because, as I've mentioned before, right? As I've mentioned before, the moon is magnetic. There's a reason they put it in this film and called it the Death Star, because it definitely is associated with death, but only if you're on the wrong side of it. Only if you're being manipulated by the push and the pull of the moon. Meaning, obviously, we can see at times of the month, new moon and full moon, people get moody, right? See, I told you it's always in the word. You can look, you start to study these words and see how these words are put together. You'll see how so much of this stuff ties in, and it's so hyperdimensional that it's kind of like you gotta wonder how the fuck it all came to be what it is, to be honest with you. But as I've said, the truth can only be felt and experienced, and a man with the truth, like, doesn't even need to argue with people who've got arguments, because I've experienced the things that I'm talking about. So this is why, like, I'm making sure that the message, gets out there to people, and basically I'm putting you back in the game with this shit. So I want to show you some more about these words and the way the words are used to trick and confuse us if we don't know what is going on. But I'm also going to quickly show you about how the moon, right? So let me just rewind back and let me just think of a way of explaining it to you then. Because these people are masters at using what would be called alchemy in order to control your nervous system and accelerate and magnetize you towards things that have nothing to do with life, but what we've all been taught to think that it has got to do with life. Like they say, time is money, and you got to think how we controlled time is money. They've told you, like, people out there, money is like more or less God. Money is like, if you don't get money, you won't live, right? And I'm not saying like, oh, let's forget about money, and because this is all part of the game, this is all part of it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they've confused the issue about what gives power and what gives life, right? Now, people are running around in the fucking realm here now, chasing money so they can do what? Buy a bunch of GMO fucking foods, buy a bunch of shit that's got fluoride in it, get vaccinated, vaccination, vaccination. If you look up the Latin word for vaca, that's to do with cow. The cow always seems to come into play here. You know why? Because the cow, these are two reasons why. Once it used to be the original association, the first way of perceiving wealth, because back in the tribal days, they used to exchange cows. You want to come and marry someone's daughter, you have to bring some cows along. Everyone knows that. But now, they're using it to vaccinate you. Like I said, vaca is the word for cow. So vaccination, even though this is a little side topic, but it's not, because this is how metals was introduced into your system when you was a baby, destroying all your organs and not destroying your internal life force, man, destroying these enzymes. The enzymes and probiotics, they give life. Like, this is why you will feel energized when you start to remove the shit out of your system. So because it relates to cow, this is how they tied it in with like cattle, and how they see us as livestock. You see how they use the fuck with these words, and that this is deep shit. So now they want to do this COVID-19 bollocks, and vaccinate everybody. Look at the word COVID-19, COVID. Basically, coronavirus disease. That's the acronym for it, COVID. And then not only that, it's what is it? The coronavirus disease, But then it also ties into something like what was it now? Certificate of Vaccination, COV, Certificate of Vaccination, ID, identification. These people use these words. You fuck around and see how these people use these words to play games. Like, this is why you got to know about the words and that, man, because sometimes I think to myself, fuck, man, like, I'm obsessed with studying these words myself. But you know what? Because the words will show you the way, and the words will see. Not many people, I've been looking into a lot of people been talking about a lot of these stuff, yeah. But if you watch a geezer called Lifting the Veil, this motherfucker shows you exactly how that word there is part of it. It's like neuro-linguistic programming, mind control. So that, like, we're going a little bit off topic here, but that is important because at the end of the day, these vaccinations is how the metal first got introduced into your system. Now, why is the metal important? Let's move on to the moon. The moon, as we know, has to do with magnets, right? It magnetizes metals, it magnetizes water, because as we can see, it pushes and pulls. Also, like, it pushes and pulls the energy of the sea. The sea's full of salt. That should show you, obviously, why having salt on board your system would lead you on the side of the moon's energetic cycle that you don't want to be on. You'll be on the side of that cycle where every time the moon's full and every time it's not full, like every time it's new, as it's about to bust into a new cycle, you're acting all fucking moody and shit. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that's that. That should be clear and obvious to see that the moon, when you are not in control of how that cycle is affecting you, that's why it's called the Death Star in that Star Wars movie. Yeah, remember, they present ideas and images to you in movies, yeah, to show you exactly what's going on. So you're just sitting there thinking, this is fantasy, this is not nothing, yeah, but you're living in your own fantasy now. Anyway, everything you've ever done is something you've fantasized about. If you created a business, if you created like some idea, even if you want to say, I'm going to go to the shop in a minute, you have to fantasize in your mind about doing that. We are living in a fantasy world. That's why these people use fantasia and movies to control and fuck with your mind. So yeah, like, this is supposed to be always about like just health and wellness, but at the end of the day, we have to control the mind and the body, and I'm suggesting that most people, a lot of people, we're only just waking up from this sleep right now. Even people who think they're awake and I know about what the Illuminati and all this and what's going on, and like 5G and blah blah blah. I was saying they ain't awake, because they're talking about Illuminati, this and that, and doing the Illuminati to their body every day, stuffing that shit in their body. So that ain't awake, if you ask me. Like, it's partly awake, it's known some shit, but it ain't awake, because you got to waken up this energy that's like inside you, turn your shit back on, so you can not decay and like age all quick and start, you know what I mean, being all humped over and fat and all shit like that. Yeah, that ain't how it was supposed to go. We're apex beings, our body is like next level. So basically, the moon and Saturn are tied up together. Yeah, now there's nothing bad or good about this. This is just astrology. Years ago, they taught you about how all these different archetypes of all these astrological signs are just basically, it's like light that emanates from all these different cosmic bodies that is piercing through this realm now and has an influence over us. And at different times of the day through the zodiac, right? And different times of the month and different times of the year, this would be something that you could use to your benefit or not to your benefit if you didn't know that it was affecting you. But so basically, let's get back to the Saturn thing. Saturn and the moon, I am suggesting, is how this whole, the death cults who own all these secret societies, who seem to have took all the symbols that exist, the symbols and signs that exist in nature that just basically represent energy, like the triangles, the crosses, you know, the stars, the 6-pointed stars, the interlacing triangles, the star of life, all this kind of stuff. These are just symbols that represent energy. Basically, a fully working, energized system that is connected to nature, connected to Earth, connected to like electro and magnetic energy. That's all that is. There's nothing more, there's nothing complex and mystical, and this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to demystify all of these people think, oh, I gotta go and read a bunch of holy books, and I gotta go and like watch all these documentaries and all this bullshit to get enlightened. No, you're already motherfucking enlightened already. If you're watching this and tapping into this information right now, you're already enlightened. You're enlightened anyway. You know what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, you're just out here, like I say, it's like a squirrel trying to get a nut. You're just out here trying to survive and live your life with the best information that you have. Well, I'm giving you powerful information here. So, as I've said, time, as they tell you, equals money, innit? Time equals money. So if they're telling you time equals money, they're basically equating you, one of your most valuable assets, which emanates from you, because the word time spelled backwards is a myth. They're equating that to death, because let's look at it like on a logical way of thinking, because if you're into that kind of thing, let's look at it as logical. Now, time equals money, so time equals death, yeah? Now, was not money, as I've already mentioned before, money was related to metals at first because it was coins. And the king put his face on the coins, didn't he? Right? For something for you to send your energy into, something for you to basically get drawn to magnetically. Now, it's easy to magnetically draw somebody to metals if their body's full of metals, which I've explained I'm not going to go over it again, but I've explained the metals are all in your body because of like the food and the water supply, right? Now, as I've said, it's important to know that the whole thing is based on ideas and things that symbolize things, yeah? So let's have a look at, right, quickly, what can be referred to as basically confusion, because the king put his face on the metal. These metals are dead, right? These are not living, noble metals. Like this is not like, do you know what I mean? This is dead. This is dead material here. Try to send a frequency through these metals here. Yeah? This to do with like lead and like basically dead weight, right? And you see how Saturn is a cube. I've already explained about the molecule. The salt molecule is a cube, right? So this is basically how they boxed up your light. If you're sitting in a room that is a box, now this is not good or bad, as I've said. This is just things that basically we've been constantly consuming, and basically on a predominant level, this is what we've been imbibing into our system. Remember, you consume not only through your mouth, you consume through your eyes, right? So this here, yeah, this here is a cube. The salt molecule's a cube. If you have salt water, you need a battery to get energy. Like that there, yeah, you need a battery to get energy from salt water. When you connect these wires to like a potato or to a lemon or to a peach or something like that, you don't need a battery. Energy comes from that. It will power something up. So like this is how the thing works. This is how the game's been played. We've been attracted to these metals. So therefore time equals money, which means basically you've equated time to death. So also remember this as well. So I'm going to lead on to this idea, right? Father Time, yeah, Father Time. Saturn, look it up. Saturn is also known mythologically as Father Time. It's known mythologically as Father Time. That's who Saturn is. That's like, he's known mythologically as the timekeeper. This is why they relate him to Santa and say, look, see the anagram, Santa, Satan, Saturn. It's the same vibrational, looking to cymatics here. So this is the motherfucking timekeeper. He's watching over us. He's known to eat his children, so they say. But this is only in the negative connotation. This is how the death cult of these Illuminatis, this is how they perceive Saturn. This is how they construct the reality around you. So that this, which is related to the moon again, look at the shape of that, the crescent moon. This is always skyping and cutting your energy. That's what this is doing, right? Now, remember, first they're related as the like point of reference to where you thought life came from. Yeah, it was like money, coins. That's why it's called confusion. Coin, king, kin instead of kin, because kin is like brothers, sisters, one another, unity, all that kind of shit. That's what it should have been. That's what it should be. That's what it is when you start tapping in and waking up to this, the circle and the cycle of life. We move in cycles and circles, yeah. So as you start getting into this, that's what it becomes about. It starts becoming about the cycle of life. That's why my cycle of life is sending this powerful information out to you. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, but then remember this, yeah. So that was only one way of showing you that time equals death, yeah. Magnetizing you to like the moon, which pulls energy. Look at what the moon does. She pulls energy from the sun. The sun beams out and it seems to be pulling energy from the sun. You have an internal sun inside you. You are the sun. If you think that that's not the case yet, the things that actually give you life are the fruits and the vegetables, slowed down sunlight. All that other shit that you think gives you life doesn't actually do that. It takes life from you. It charges you for the life in it, like for the momentary pleasure that you get. You know what I mean? When you go to wherever it is, you go buy some shit, they're charging you to take energy. Unless it's something that puts energy into your body, right? Like, we can understand it like this, yeah. Some things give energy, some things take energy, but it still can be called that it charges you. You sniff cocaine, yeah, charges you for a bit, but it charges you a lot of money, but it takes energy from you on the long run, yeah? Because it costs a lot of money. You get sniffed up, charges you up for a bit, but then it takes energy because it zaps you and you need that shit again. So then, boom, you need to pay another £50. You take some fucking DMT now, yeah, right? Yeah, you got charged for that interaction, but that gives you a lot of energy. It gives people so much energy, they could even go mad because, like, they've tapped into something there that's so much energy, it will rip open this whole fucking realm. You'll start to see things that really start to see how this is all a bit of an illusion that's going on right now. So that's it. That's like the analogy. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. Some things charge you, but take energy. Some things charge you, but charge you up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So this is what we're looking at doing. We're looking at dealing with things that charge us up, and the sun charges us up. Sun gazing charges us up. Eating things that genuinely come from the sun charges us up. But this has got to be organic. This is what I'm talking about. These are the geometries and the geometrics that when you pull into your body, the cells in your body, literally, which are living things, they are cells and cells. Do you know what I mean? These things have a correlation. Yeah. These things can see the geometry of the organic and consume it, and it takes from it the intelligence of what it is to be that, like that, of that light code of, say, it's a strawberry, or what it is to be of the light code of to be like the biophotonic resonance of broccoli or a lemon. All these different things are different levels of frequencies that are put into the body and can be experienced by the body. But you see, what happens is when your organs ain't switched on because they've been turned off by metals, then that ability to even like see that as something like as a vivid interaction with something that has to even do with the sun is lost. People don't even look at it like that. People don't even look at these things as slowed down sunlight, hence realizing that when you communicate with these, when you put these things into your body, they are giving you life force from the sun. And this is why the sun energizes you up anyway. You feel what I'm trying to say? This is it's a fucking powerful shit to know, man. So yeah, like all these different emanations that come from the sun, you can see in the different colors and frequencies and different spectrums of how they appear in your reality as different colors of fruits, different colors of vegetables, but also even different, like really different, even like different days of the week has to relate to it. 7 tones on the piano. I've said all of this stuff before, but then it goes up to 12 because we've got 12, like you've got 7 scales, but 12 tones on the piano. And that's to do with the zodiac, because there's always a 7 and a 12. Like add 5 senses in your body to the 7 organs in your body, and you've got 12. This is to do with the zodiac, right? So let's just dial it back a bit. What have we talked about here? We've talked about how they've basically accelerated the decay process by making us lust after decay. You're lusting after coins and metals and medals. You want metals. Look at the rat race. Why do you think things are ruled by a standard? Things are ruled by a standard because you've got first ST, second ND, and third RD. Standard ST, ND, RD. See, it's symbolic. All this shit that you're watching on the Olympics and all this shit, you think it's just fucking put there as some fun. No, it's called bread and circuses to distract you, but putting you right in front of your face what's going on. They're put on a triangle as well, because the triangle represents the trinity of life, yeah, which is like the Father, Mother, and the Son. Told you I'm not religious, but this shit is here in front of your face. So you've got right brain, left brain, and the midbrain, which is when, like, so one would be the Father, one would be the Mother, one would be the Son. That's a trinity, that's a unity. Once these things are like merged together, you've got a trinary being, you've got a being that sees things from all the powerful angles of the triangulation of the sun. That's why it's a prism, a triangle, a triangulation, a prism, but it's a prism to those that are not beginning to see how this whole light frame is being like beamed out into your consciousness. You got like something called like Saturn. So as I said, Saturn is the timekeeper. Saturn, if you're on the wrong side of Saturn, you think time equals money. You're selling your time for money. When time could equal your expansion. Time could be like, I'm just going to keep doing this DJing with my time, or I'm going to keep doing these videos to help people because I've learned some stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? Not time equals money. Like it does equals money because, but in what level? Money being magnetized towards you, or you just chasing after death? Because after they created it to let's chase after metals, coins, because of course like attracts like. So if you're full of metals, you're going to chase metals. You know what I'm trying to say? So let's talk about how they even made time equals death here, because like what gives us oxygen, what gives us life? Trees, isn't it? Yeah, plants. See that there? That's why they call it a power plant. They even call the shit that there's nothing to do with those plants there. They call it a power plant, isn't it? Like an electricity power plant. Yeah. You're electromagnetic beings, man. So the point that I'm making is They made you chase paper, innit? What's paper got to do with paper? Dead trees. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Dead trees, dead presidents. That's what they're called in America, innit? Dead presidents, yeah. So, like, that's how the Saturn moon matrix works, basically. The time equals money, death. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and remember I'm saying not anything, there's nothing bad about this, but the point that I'm making is get the metals out of your body, get the salt out of your body, take the salt out of your diet, take the salt out of your water. Then what begins to happen is, like, biophotons start to work again, innit? Look at what biophotons are. I'll start going into more about all these biophotons and all of this stuff, but basically what biophotons is that you are made of biophotons. The sun produces biophotons. The word nut is to do with nux. Nutrition is light. The sun's spitting out, it's not every day. It's basically, it's a sexual thing. It's sending its nut into the mother earth, into the earth's life, and then impregnating the earth. The earth's getting, it's like the seed of life, and it bang, the nut spraying down the nut into the earth. The earth's popping out the fruit. You know, like the fruit, you say your children are the fruit of your loins. So the earth's popping out the fruit. We put that high vibrational shit into our bodies, then we can see light. You understand what I'm trying to say? We can see light. Light is inside of us. Yeah? Your body's full of light. This is why I want to demystify all this light work and shit. All this, people think it's just like, oh yeah, the light codes are coming in, and the light. I'm a light being and a light worker. Well, we're living in the shadow realm. This is darkness as well as light. There would be no fruit if there weren't for the muck of the earth, right? So the light and the dark work together. They merge, they are merged together. They are the same thing. They're just different polarities, but we're learning to not live in polarities and polarizations. We're learning to live outside of that. You understand what I'm saying here? So that's what we have to do. But to live outside of that, to be clear, right, we have to get our memory back. And the word mem and ori is water and light. To get water and light fluxing through this system, the water in the body has to be not full of inorganic materials. Hence the food has to be not full of inorganic materials, meaning salt, metals, dump them out of the system. There is going to be a little bit of issues as you start dumping them out of the system, because this is heavy work, you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily always, like, you know, feel pleasant, because you're dumping off all the weights. Look at the word weight and weights and light and light. I'm light now. I'm full of light. You know what I'm saying? These things are the same for the same word for a reason, because the more weight you dump off the system, the less you have to weigh. The more light you've got in your system, the more lighter you become, meaning light-hearted, and light. The light of the mind starts to shine, and you can see things that basically everyone in this reality is walking around dumb, deaf and blind, cannot see. And this is not criticism, this is not judging people, this is just showing you that, like, the whole reality is being cloaked. As I said before, money and months and moon and the moon and all of this stuff is all tied up. Do you know what I mean? Time equals money, as I've said. Time equals money, right? So basically time equals death then, isn't it? Because the charge about time equals the evenings, the evening time. Time equals the evenings, the evenings to do with death, yeah? But not in a bad way. It's just, remember I told you, it's all tied in together. Look, this is the evening. This is how the whole thing has been. Look, show you some words on that. Clocked, the clock, it's a sea lock. It locks you to the sea because you can't see. You understand what I'm saying? These people use the word magic on you. You cannot see. They put 360 degrees in an angle. plus your 5 senses. I mean, 360 degrees in a circle, even though there's no degrees in a circle at all. Remember, your tubes are all circles. So don't be putting square, Saturnian-based molecules in there like salt, Dead Sea salts. Yeah, look, angles. Don't be putting that shit in your body. And then you will have a different relationship to time. Not saying you're going to defeat time, but you will have a different relationship to time, because you're not going to be all accelerated, but your nervous system's not going to be like, oh my God, there's not enough time, I've got to get... You're just going to be all chilled and relaxed, because you can feel that energy, meaning you can feel life force energy fluxing through your body. You know that you're always healing, you're always rejuvenating, you're always like, basically, yeah, like you're not, there's no rush now. What time, what rush? You understand what I'm trying to say? There's no rush, there is no time like that. Time only exists in your mind in the way that you think it exists, because you was told it exists like that. And because you was encouraged to eat the things and to believe in things that were to do with death. That was to do with, oh my God, time's running out, I'm dying. Like, you get me? I gotta hurry up, I gotta get it done, I gotta do this, and I gotta, you've been encouraged to do that because your nervous system has been believed in death. You're looking around and seeing everyone dying and aging and decaying and not knowing what's going on, and why is my memory going, and like, why am I getting these diseases? Why has this person got cancer? Why has this person got dementia? Why has this person got diabetes? Why are we not being healed? Why is it all anxiety? What? Because you're putting this shit, stop putting the stuff in your body that is not organic, that is not of a living system, that is not giving you the vibrancy of what you had when you was a baby. That's not putting you like not able to experience life through the senses. Always stuck up in the mind, tick tock in the brain, Jim. You know what I mean? Tick tock. That's why do you think they say the brain's ticking? Or your brain's always ticking. Stop that shit. Your brain needs to stop ticking. You know what I mean? The brain needs to be zen, zone, one. Understand what I'm saying? It needs to be the one. It needs to be just circle, the circle, just like this. I hope this is just like piercing through the walls of your consciousness, man, and getting into like really getting into your system, and that you can feel it, because like this has been a bit of a rant, and it hasn't necessarily, like, I didn't follow the timeline of I have some notes, I didn't follow it the way that I wanted to, but I gotta get this out there, so it is what it is. I'll be doing more and more videos soon. Like, share and subscribe if you're feeling this stuff, you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, the bottom line is that you are a healer. Your body can constantly be healing itself, and that is it. You don't need no doctors, because the word doctor is to doctor, to forge. You don't need vaccinations, because to vaccinate is to become cattle. It's literally to become vaca. Look that word up, Spanish for cattle, for cows. The Latin root word vaca, vaccination. Your whole body is a nation of cells, trillions and trillions of cells. What is nation? Nation, ions. Ions is energy, you know what I mean? What's the word on? To do with light. On, light. The light is on. Light bulb moment is here right now for you. So I'm going to end it there. And as I'm saying, man, just like, share, subscribe. Keep checking this shit out, man, because it's only going to get more and more harmonic, and it's only going to get more and more expansive with the things that I'm talking about. Look, dump the salt out your system, dump the metals out your system, get the GMOs out, tell all your people, because once they do this, you will see, and this is vivid, as I've said before, there is no placebo here. You're going to see that you will not need doctors. unless your fucking leg's hanging off or you need some accident and emergency treatment. You are only going to need yourself when it comes to like how to heal yourself, because like you'll be confident that like, yo, even if I don't know how to heal this shit, or I'm not confident that this shit is working, I'll just do a few searches. Like I'll find some Ayurvedic energy healers or some bioresonance. You got to look into sound healing and how that works, color therapy, and why focusing on colors it's all vibrations. We are vibrational frequency beings, so you got to look into all things like that. You got to look into like oxygenation of the blood, cleansing the blood. These are all powerful things that I'm going to be bringing on a frequent basis. So anyway, I'll end it there, leave it there, and much love to the family and everyone who's feeling this. Peace out.